Okay guys, welcome to Link's Labs. Today we're going to show you what happens and how to fix it when you get a blob of death. Sometimes this happens with some of the printers. It's an inevitable thing at times. Actually, for the most part, I feel like most of mine have been user error, whether I didn't have a clean build plate or rushed some stuff. One of the times my son happened to hit resume when the printer stopped because it had noticed that it was getting blob. But it's a pretty common error. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes you can fix it without even having to replace parts. We're going to just go ahead and replace parts on it. I've already done the repair earlier, and I'm going to redo it though, so that way you can see how to do it if it happens. Once again, you'll be able to see here where sometimes the nozzle gets clogged and it just starts spewing up and up and up and up, and it just gunks everything up. Sometimes you can get errors where the hot end will literally, pieces will come apart and you will have to fully just replace it. Other times, like with this one, as you see, everything's still intact, but it does need to be cleaned off. So I'll go into the cleaning. I'm not going to actually do the cleaning today. Like I said, I just ordered a part. I could probably reach out to Bambulabs, since this one is under warranty, and get them to send me out a new part. But it was a $15 part, and it was here tomorrow, or the next day, I should say. So yeah, first off, the tools you're gonna need: your handy dandy bigger Allen key. I have one of the original, or not necessarily original, but the older ones that actually came with a nice printed handle. The newer ones, I believe, come without that handle, and you can reprint it yourself to include this actual nice plastic part on there. Like I said, the newer ones, it's just a straight Allen key. Works both ways. Both work really well. You'll need that to unscrew some stuff. You'll probably want some of these to go ahead and help pull some of the filament off. You'll definitely want some heat resistant gloves. I've upgraded to these here. They were about, I think, 12 bucks for a pair. Originally I was using these cheap, like $5 to $10 welders gloves, because you are going to have to be dealing with hot PLA or PETG or whatever the material it was that you had the gunk in. Another highly recommended tool, a heat gun. This will allow you to heat up the material after you've gotten it off of there, to clean this up. Basically, you use the hot gun, heat it all up, and start scraping and wiping this off, and this should be recoverable. Once again, I don't have the time right now, so I just went ahead and ordered the part. You'll also need, most likely, you'll need a new sock, and you might want to go ahead and just use a new nozzle. And once again, you can clean it off, and I'll show you what this one looked like after this blob. Like I said, I've already done most of the work. So first thing you're gonna do is, so one of the first things you're gonna want to do when this happens is you're gonna go ahead, the printer's off right now, but you'll go ahead and go in, turn the temperature up to 250, 275. That way it starts melting this off up, softening it up. If it hasn't broken the nozzle, pushed it off or anything like that. Once it's soft enough with your gloves on, you'll go ahead and use a tool, pull these pieces off. Like I said, this came off pretty big chunk. There's another piece here, and get it as free as possible, and then you'll unclick the thing, remove it. Like I said, this is obviously after the fact, that's why this one's clean. If you look at this one here, it was still all gunked up. So once it's free, like I said, the nozzle, this is still a good nozzle. All you have to do is just heat this up with a heat gun and wipe it off, get it all cleaned out. Probably use one of the nozzle poker needle things to clear it, and this will be good to go again. I've done this a few times. Like I said, most of these were user error. Don't feel like that if you have a Bambulabs A1 or A1 Mini or any of the other ones that this is a must run into. Most of these are because I just run my machines ragged. I don't have the best cleanliness in my lab. I try my best, but I'm running for efficiency. So once you've got that all done, you're going to go ahead and remove these 3 screws here. That'll allow you to disassemble, take this from the head. I'll go ahead and after you have that moved off, you'll take this screw, and this and this. That'll allow you to move the head. Then you'll come to the back here and you will unplug this and take it out from here. I'll show you the wires. Oops, sorry. Run through there and you'll pull those out. This will be moved, so you'll be able to take it out, take this off, put the new one back on, and retighten. Put the screws back in here, retighten. Oops, sorry. The 4 screws here, and then you'll put your nozzle back on, close her up, put your sock back on, put the faceplate back on, and you're ready to print. So that's basically the quick and dirty. I will go ahead and actually remove this and show you exactly what it does entail. I'm not going to fully remove the wires because I've already got it set up and you can figure that out. But I will show you the exact procedure for removing the screws and how easy this is. Right now we're at 6-7 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of me just talking through, and most of this has been me talking. So let me push pause here and then I will restart it from start to finish of how to remove and replace the hot end nozzle. We'll pretend like we're replacing the hot end nozzle just because, you know, sometimes a wire breaks or gets old, and I've never had that happen other than the Blobbed A1. But we'll pretend that today this one, the wire broke and I just need to replace it and it's not all gunked up. As I said earlier, we're going to cosplay a little bit. Obviously I don't have my AMS or my thing hooked up to anything, but we're just going to pretend that we're replacing this. So first thing would be remove the front end, remove the sock, open this up. Now obviously you want the machine powered off, unplugged, everything like that. You're dealing with a lot of electricity and stuff like that. You shouldn't be able to shock yourself, but why take that risk? Then you're going to pull the nozzle out, and there's going to be, once again, 3 screws. First screw here, second screw here, and third screw here. Alright, we got our screws removed. So that come them out. Then we're going to do this screw here, this top screw, and this. You want to be careful because this does connect to the back in there, but this will allow access to these wires here. So you'll just, like I said, unplug right here, run the wires through, and then do it in reverse. Okay, we're not going to do all that today because it's already been done. Now when you're putting this wire through here, there's little grooves and there's a couple little tabs. You'll want to use something gently to tuck them in before you go ahead and re-cinch it down after you've replaced it and put it in. Just pretend I did that. Okay? Like, if you can't figure out pretending what I did by putting this wire and running it through here, then sorry, but maybe 3D printing is not for you. or just find somebody that can do it for you. Obviously re-screw everything back in. We ran our wires. We're going to put this back in. This big part goes up, small part down. Then we're going to take our Hotend, position it, line up the screws. Screw it back in. Make sure everything's nice and snug. Take your new nozzle. Take your new sock. Take your front plate cover. Take your back plate cover. Now, good to go. And it's as simple as that. Now we've replaced our Hotend assembly. Like I said, you can use a hot gun to clean this all up, and you'll have another one you can use later. Sometimes it breaks, and I'm sure there's a way to resolder this and fix it, but for 15 bucks, there you go. This has been Lynx Labs, and as you can see, I love the A1. It works great. Keeps us going, and everything you see in here is printed on an A1 or an A1 Mini. Join us for more adventures in 3D printing, and hope for not having a blob of death. The end. Goodbye.